All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. That's right. If you go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code Tinfoil, you too can get in on the precious metals game for as little as $50 a month. Listen, guys, we've been telling you about this forever, and precious metals exploding. Stabilize your cash. Get into it. So before we bring our guest in, we have a giant announcement to make. We're very excited. We've been talking about this a lot, and we finally got our date. We're proud to announce that Tinfoil Hat's big 1,000th episode is happening June 18th at 10 p.m. at the Mothership in Austin. It is locked in. We're good to go. Grab your tickets because it's going to be a wild time, and we're going to pack it out. And then we're going to all go hang out and make bad decisions. So we're excited to finally announce that. I have another day at the end of the year, the headline the weekend, but we are excited to be back in the saddle. And, the 500th was fire.
Dude, that was great.
Yeah. And the 1,000 should be even better. I'm hoping to get Alex Jones, maybe. He's in Austin.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
Yeah, dude. And I got to get Eddie Bravo on it, and that will be our panel if we're lucky.
Trump, maybe?
It could happen.
You want us to get Trump? Oh, that would be crazy.
We could do a little word war promo. Get Trump versus Kamala, maybe.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Debate action.
Let's do that. And so it will be. We're going to be excited again. That's June 18th. That isn't up on my website yet. It will be as soon as I get the ticket link. All right, so let's get it. Let's kick it off. I'm very excited to have this next guest on. He's a podcaster. He is a researcher. He is a psychonaut, and his podcast called Wake the Dead. Please welcome Sean McCann. Everybody, nailed that.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be here and to speak with you and your listeners. I am a listener myself of your show.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Been listening for a long time, and I still listen because you don't fall for the left, right, all the bullshit.
Yeah, we hate that here. And
you recognize right. What matters?
Yeah, it's harder and harder to go down that because both sides on the extreme are really hunkered into their side.
Oh, it's their side.
Right. And everything is emotional now. So you're either with me or you're against me. And it's just like, and it's nuanced, dude. It's a little bit of both. Like, should that guy be allowed to bring his gun to a protest? Yeah. If you're a Second Amendment Maximus, yes, he should be able to bring a gun there. And I'm sorry, that guy was, if he's even dead, was executed, dude. Yeah. I mean, and I'm listening to some people that I really love just not see that, dude.
Dude, I had to unfollow some people on YouTube because you're just blind. You're just like, you're literally just playing the narrative that I thought you were acting like you were in the middle type of thing when you're really not.
You bought into a cult of personality. And it's bought the government line. Like, I mean, we defended, and I think rightfully so. What was the guy's name Kyle Rittenhouse?
Kyle Rittenhouse. Everyone defended him.
He brought an AR to a protest.
Yeah, and I think it's different because he was protecting somebody's property, an ethnic person, two Indians. It's a little different.
I think the other guy thought he was protecting someone also, but he didn't even have his was holstered on his waistband. You know what I mean? It wasn't even...
Yeah, I mean, and you see them taking it away. Again, you can see however you want. I look at everything through a demoralization lens, and they want civil war. And I guarantee you this isn't the last person going to lose his life as these Minnesota Democrats send these guys into the meat grinder while they sit from their mansions and gated communities telling everybody to put their lives on the line. You go put your life on the line. It's like all these neocons who want war with Iran. You go. You get on the front line. You go die for this ridiculous cause that you believe so much in. Stop sending 20-year-olds to die, even though that guy wasn't 20 or good looking. Did you see MSNBC trying to make him more bangable?
Yeah, that's so funny.
It worked though. He did look a lot better looking. He was
did you have more sympathy because your homoerotica got kicked in?
I almost donated on the GoFundMe. I was like, I have to donate now.
He's so hot.
Do you think both sides know that they're feeding into a potential civil war?
I don't think the extremes do that. They're so lost in their ideology. Their ideology has become their identity. and they're lost in it. They think they're on the right side.
Useful idiots.
So that's what it is. It's mind control to make people consent into going with the evil, right? And that's what it is. Like, it's a immoral, like, anti-human, where they're actually feeding the humans into the meat grinder is the purpose.
Yes.
You know, like, that's what war is, and mind control. And like, Kubrick talks about this, and that will lead us into our topic if you wanted. But Full Metal Jacket is all about mind control. It's not about war. It's about how to make somebody a soldier, a super soldier, you know. And they even say it into the camera. I wanted to be the first one on my block with a confirmed kill, you know, like, how do you make a kid into a soldier? And that's the male version of that mind control. And the female version of the mind control is Eyes Wide Shut, with the multiple personality, trauma-based mind control of satanic ritual abuse. And I guess that could set us up. If you want, we can roll from there.
Before we get into that, I mean, like, you're bringing up some really great points in that. You know, I mean, if you eat, you know, I used to do USOs, and again, I just want it stated for the that's where you go entertain the troops.
Okay.
Right. And like, I don't have problems with the troops, even when they're crazy idiots. And there are, I mean, I'm sorry, nothing against the troops, but, you know, that guy, you remember that guy was going to put out that doc about him following the troops through Afghanistan and Iraq, and like the crazy, these are basically college kids.
Yep.
Right? They're just in the middle of war. And we all think about college. We think about frat boys and how crazy they are and all the ridiculous stuff they do. You know, just think about TikTok and going viral on TikTok. But now you're in the middle of a war. So that's what I mean by that. I respect our soldiers. And I respect the soldiers. I don't respect the military brass that's so dark arts occult, sending people into meat grinders. They, you know, they were
exactly
talking, right.
You can suss out the difference, right? Like, you know, and that's kind of what Kubrick's movie about the black and white one with the Paths to Glory. That's like, you know, the military brass wants to go execute the people, while the guy.
There's very much a thin the herd involved in war.
Yeah.
And real quick, but when I was on the USO tour, and I don't know if I've told the story before, but I feel it's apropos, but we had a guy, we'll call him our handler at that point. You know, he's taking us around, showing us where to go. Our lead, our guide, let's say, he was our guide into the war zones, to tell us where to go and what not to do, and what to do and what not to do. And he was talking about there was a time when in World War I they studied and found out that troops couldn't shoot the enemy. They couldn't shoot the Germans. So that's where propaganda comes into movies, and that's why you see all this gun shooting in movies. That's where it started, because they wanted to train people psychologically with it being okay to shoot people. Fast forward, you know, gangster rap, fast forward video games, and dude, you want to get yelled at by someone, try to tell them video games kind of are part of this whole school shooting shit, because that's literally what you're doing. You're walking down a boom, 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 just like Grand Theft Auto, or just like any of these other video games. So that's the psychological game being played in a lot of these movies.
Exactly that. That's what Full Metal Jacket is. It's showing you the psychological game of, like, you have Joker, who is a competent mind, who has humor, at least that takes him a little further than Gomer Pyle, who was like an imbecile. But you can see both of them breaking to the point where they become a murderer. Like, that's the whole movie. At the end, he shoots and kills, even though it's from compassion. It's a lot to think about. But in the end, they all sing the Mickey Mouse Club song. You know, they were all subjected to the same mind control since they were children. And it's only natural that they ended up in, you know, Vietnam happened when it did, to send all those kids into the meat grinder. It was, you know, Jim Morrison sang about how there was 5-to-1, you know, the kids under 18 versus adults with the baby boom. And yeah, we could take over. But no, they grew their hair and fornicated in the woods and went into the meat
Baby
grinder.
boomers, the worst generation, and it goes,
Yeah.
it goes, greatest generation of all time, amazing. Baby boomers, garbage. I'm sorry, Gen X, fire. Millennials, garbage, and the Generation Z. There's some hope for them. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but there is a little hope. They seem to be swinging a little bit.
Did they already name the new generation, like the ones your daughter would be?
Is it Alpha or Z? I don't know.
It's
No,
Alpha.
generation. Yeah,
I think, but the Z and the Alpha are being I guess they're being raised by the Gen Xers who happened to didn't fall for 9/11 or for the the convid scam and all this. My kid is not like poisoned and he's not getting mind control. You know what I mean? So there's a few
the Generation X. We didn't create the internet, but we built it.
Sure.
And we also created what we basically created YouTube. We were the one content creating on there to build it to where it was. And we also are the ones who kind of created the gig society, the gig economy, where suddenly we stopped working for corporations, we stopped working for that, and we created our own businesses, we created our own jobs, and you see that everywhere now.
Yeah, and you did see that when there was town schoolhouses and there wasn't government education from the Prussian education system to teach them to be soldiers. America had literacy. We had everybody worked for themselves. Before the Industrial Revolution, before the feminism and all that crap, we were self-sufficient for a lot. And if you look in the old books, you can learn a lot.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I have this joke about my friend Brian Callen that his data comes from encyclopedias and he doesn't even engage in the internet in a weird way. But there is something about the really old encyclopedias, like when you get way deep before the Rockefellers took over everything, that there's a lot of knowledge in those encyclopedias.
Right. And the school textbooks, I downloaded a couple of textbooks today from 1877, and I'm just amazed at how simple and easy and complex at the same time, complex ideas that are written simply for a child. It's so perfect. And then I think about how I was raised and I went to public school in the 80s and 90s, and and what they're getting now is worse. It's just amazing.
Idea. That's a great idea to buy really old encyclopedias, from the 1800s.
Yes. By the way, this is, other than the profit incentive, this is, I think, a big reason they force you to update your textbooks in college every year, because they want to make sure you have the latest propaganda.
Yeah.
Because remember, they would be like, no, you can't. We're teaching to the new text, but you got to buy the new one every year.
And they were not cheap.
And let me ask you something.
Yeah, that's the profit.
You guys don't have kids. I don't know if you have kids. Sean, do you have kids?
I have a kid, yeah.
If at this point your child said, I don't want to go to college, what is your thoughts on that?
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm
I would say good for you.
I'm like, why do you want to go there, get propagandized, and then be 200? And by the time my kids are in it, could be $500,000 in debt.
Right. I mean, I would encourage, if he had a special interest, then to go further into that. If he had the interest and the drive to do so, I wouldn't be like, don't go. But I went to photography school, and I just focused on that. I didn't get all the bullshit of regular college, and I learned what I wanted, and I took what I wanted from it, and I got out of there. And now I understand, how to make a photograph and how to do, how to look at color and how to, it benefited me greatly. But it only costs $4,000 a semester instead of whatever the crazy amounts that kids pay.
I would tell my daughters, go find a college that you'd like to go to, let's say Miami University, and go get an apartment near there, live the college life without the college debt.
Right.
Unless you really have something specific you want to go into.
Right.
You know, I would say go and try to live life and figure out a job you want to do.
Yeah.
Even then, if you have something specific you want to go into, go do it. Go work at it.
right.
You know, I mean, there's so many places where you can take an internship or something and get much more valuable experience.
I was about
than
to say,
in college.
but if you want to become a lawyer,
Well, that's
an
different,
engineer,
yeah.
there's things that you sometimes, unless you're that, I mean, and those are degrees you're kind of really smart at. It's not like social. What's the other one that everyone takes? Sociology. That one sucks. All the other ones are dumb. But if your kid wants to be like a doctor, like my sister had to go to school.
Dude,
to
I
become a
wonder
lawyer.
if those jobs are going to exist. And I mean, people are using AI now to represent themselves legally.
Oh, and attorney. I was about to say doctors. Yeah, no.
No, they're talking about the AI is going to be doctors soon, which I think is a
That scares
nightmare
the shit out of
idea.
me. Yeah, dude. The AI I interact with, ChatGPT, is wrong so often, dude. Like I was using it to scan health insurance documents the other day. I was updating my health insurance, and then it realized like halfway through everything it had been telling me was just wrong. And I almost made like a critical life decision, my health insurance based on analyzing these documents.
On doom scrolling, we asked what percentage of the people arrested by ICE are law-abiding Americans. Uncensored AI said 75%. And Dylan took the win because he never wins, so we let him win. And then the next week he was like, dude, that's so full of shit.
See, okay, but that stuff sucks. But then, like the actual like nano banana, have you seen what they're creating over there with the AI? That's
Nano
fucking,
banana?
Yeah, the new.
Never heard of it.
It's a new.
You're talking about like the monkey banana?
No, it's a fruit. It's a new AI video generator, and it's making amazing fucking videos right now where you can't even tell the difference anymore. I'll show you something where it's like. Where I agree with that stuff, AI is really dropping the ball on that. But when it comes to like
pictures and videos
and like your thumbnails,
yeah, thank you. They're fire. Johnny hates them, but I love them.
I don't hate them.
You hate them.
I mean,
So let's get back to Stanley Kubrick. Where do you were kind of getting into some of his movies?
Sure.
We went on a little tangent there, but where would you like to go?
Well, I guess I've been looking at his films for a long time because of the photography angle. Kubrick is a photographer, and I like a good picture, you know. So I've seen these films. It seems like infinite number of times, and so my brain cognizes them kind of in a different way. And for a long time, I've been noticing, right? And so at the same time, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm listening to What on Earth is Happening, Mark Passio. I'm listening to Freeman Fly's
We love
the Free Zone.
I have to
dude. Yeah, he's my good friend.
He
He's
disappeared for a while. I think he went on some vision quest, and now he's back.
No, and he needs a booker like you have. That's actually it. That's the only reason.
Mark's
Steve
ears are
Mercer had to
ringing
quit.
right now.
Dude, no, I'm serious. He would be great. He would be very thankful to have somebody to donate because, like, I know him personally. We talk. Like, I went to Rainbow Gathering a few times with the kid. So, like, you know, he can't handle like all of it. Well, not that he can't, but I don't know if he. Well, anyway, Steve Mercer is a good friend, and he's been working with Freeman for a long time. But he had to quit doing that, and ever since then, Freeman's been kind of like, well, you
Talk
know,
to Mark.
That's great.
We'll all have the same guest.
That's beautiful. I'm glad. You know, I'm glad that I even mentioned it because, like, he needs the attention. Everybody loves Freeman. So, but yeah, like, you know, I'm deep in the rabbit holes for many years, like 20 years, and I've been learning about, you know, human freedom and mind control and psychopathy and Satanism and, you know, the dark occult and all this stuff. So I'm down the rabbit hole of trauma-based mind control and satanic ritual abuse and understanding what happens to the brains of these victims and how the structure is made. And if anybody wants to learn more, they could go to my Wake the Dead and check out. I've interviewed people, Carrie Olahe especially, many times, and she will explain the internal structure of her programming, like, very deep. And so I'm learning this thing like 6-7 years ago, and I see in Eyes Wide Shut, that's what Alice is. And I saw the documentary Room 237, and
Oh yeah, that's
John,
great.
right, and that was just like it hit my brain, like and John Fell Ryan mentioned how Helena gets stolen at the end. It's
That
like
is
a
a
kidnapping.
traumatizing scene when you understand what is happening there.
Truly.
It's very hard to watch, especially when
Yes.
it involves two people that have dark energy, excuse me, like Tom Cruise and especially Nicole Kidman. The notion of having Nicole Kidman in a movie about child sex trafficking when her father was a prolific child sex trafficker, and they just get juiced into Hollywood. Oh, hey
Right.
man, join the gang. You're already part of it.
Right.
It's crazy, dude.
Kubrick chose her for a reason, and so she is in real life, so her Anthony Kubrick is her dad, and he worked for, I think it was like MKUltra derivative, basically, where he was programming children for his job for the Australian government, for which is working with the Five Eyes and that whole Rhodes Scholar crap of rule the world, rule Britannia type shit. So he's like, his job is programming children, and obviously he's a psychopath. He works for them, right? So who's to say he wouldn't do that to his own daughter?
Yeah, great point. So I don't know if I've talked about it on this show. I know I talked it on the Kurt and Sam Experiment, Volume 9, which you can see on samtripoli.com. So I have a friend of mine. He's former military. He was the assistant team to the Navy SEALs, and he gets hit up by a UCLA health program doctor that wants him to come join this new experiment that they're doing, and they're going to deal with people with PTSDs. And he showed me the email he got, and it's basically like, come inside, we're gonna hypnotize you, and we're gonna show you a bunch of pictures. And he goes, dude, this sounds like MKUltra to me. I go, 100%. 100%. I mean, you're getting
That's the
guys who've
Ludovico
been-
method, right? That's what Alex was getting in A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah,
like, seeing pictures. Right.
Yeah, you're taking traumatized people and mentally manipulating them.
How old is he?
He's got to be 40s, 40s, middle 40s. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's insane to me. And this whole notion, trust the doctors. You're like, trust science. You're like, some of the most evil shit ever done in humanity has been done by scientists.
By G.H. Estabrooks. And, he talked about it with the FBI. Like, I've been doing, William Ramsey and Hans Utter and myself it was William Ramsey brought it to our shows, and we're just doing this unfolding investigation. And it started with The Manchurian Candidate, the book and the movie, and we're exposing how that became reality, with the Sirhan and all that crap. But then William found this document that was FOIA'd, released like 2017 or something like that, and it's like 500-page document between G.H. Estabrooks and the head of the FBI there, the guy that wore a dress, and
Hoover.
Hoover, exactly. And there's all these other people that get copies and stuff, and it's all stamped, and it's all like most of it's unredacted. You can see how they use hypnosis and drugs and triggering and handling. And they said that they were saying anybody that speaks English can be hypnotized, and they can be hypnotized in such a way they don't know they've been hypnotized, and they can't be hypnotized by a different person. It's like locked in. And it's like, it's in these documents, like we are exposing the truth on our show. It's like, it's very revelatory, and everybody should check it out. It's posted on William's
What's the
site.
name of it? Williams Ramsey.
William Ramsey Investigates. Yes, exactly.
We love
He's
William
been on
Ramsey.
this show. Yes.
Yes,
He's a good
one of
friend
our
as well.
favorites. Guys, the crypto market is super interesting. Can you grab that comet that's just shooting up? Okay. Yeah, and you're like, how am I going to know what's happening? How am I going to figure out? Very simple. Go and check out our boy James McCann and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Does it piss you off to watch crypto fly up in price for over a decade and you've still done nothing about it? Yeah, it makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. But here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or to make money like so many have. The copymycrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McCann personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You just simply copy along. So let me tell you about James, okay? He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has like 100,000 followers on it, like subscribers. It's unbelievable. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put in $100 in each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said, okay? That one call alone retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go on YouTube and verify this yourself. So if you'd like to join the over 3,000 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head right over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but our viewers get full access for just $1. Okay? Yes, you missed out on Bitcoin. That's fine. You can even get a little piece, but don't even worry about that. But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you've missed out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time, okay? Go to the site and read it for yourself. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/tinfoil hat. It's ended money worries for so many. It just may do the same for you. And we thank him for sponsoring the show. Really, this guy in Minneapolis ends up getting killed. It turns out he's like loves to dress trans. And there's many
that's the new psyop,
right?
Yeah.
But obviously he's not in hormones. Look how furry he is. He looks like Ari Shafir. You know what I'm saying?
The ugly one does look like
really
Ari Shafir.
Yeah, not the good looking.
Yeah, the ugly one. Yeah.
But so I wouldn't doubt if he was on SSRIs. I mean, that is something that makes you programmable, in my opinion. I can't state any research to that, but we're seeing this as a common theme in school shootings and people who act out like that. I wouldn't doubt it.
If you look at the composition of Prozac, it's mostly fluoride.
Oh my God.
If you didn't know that, yeah, that's true. The molecule fluoride, they use many molecules of fluoride, in the compound. Yeah, so it's always been about destroying minds and making people dumber so that they can be slaves. I think that's where it all, and the whole thing with the genital mutilation and that goes back to ancient cults of Inanna and ancient sacrifice cults of Tanit and sacrificing babies to Yahweh and the Baal, all that stuff. Like that's even like circumcision and the modern day thing with the transing your kids, that's all the same child sacrifice that it's always been. And we'll even talk about how like the way that Alice is and her being that type of whore has been since Babylon, since the ancient Inanna cults before Babylon, Sumeria. The families would give their daughters to the cult as a virgin to go be a whore for the church. And Rome let it become
crazy,
Wow.
And so that's what's happening to Helena. She gets stolen by, they created her in a ritual. Like Alice used to be one of the maidens. Like in the very opening.
Nicole Kidman's character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Nicole Kidman is the breeder. And she is like Kubrick relates her to the symbolism of Ishtar. Like he puts the 8-pointed star all around her in the beginning when they're at the first party. Also, I don't know. I'll get lost in some of these things because there's like so much. But anyway, so she is a maiden of Ishtar, Inanna, and so she represents the goddess in their occult ritual. And so the kings of the land used to fornicate with the high priestess of Inanna to create the fertility of the land, I guess, is some crazy old religion, but basically it's like a fertility cult. And so in this ritual that we see at like 1 hour and 11 minutes, they are being impregnated. And the red cloak character is sanctifying the space with his thurible, the double-headed chair, the double-headed eagle with the crown on top. That relates, I mean, you look at the cover of Morals and Dogma, that's like the logo. But also, if you go even further and you look at the Holy Roman Empire and you look at the Order of the Golden Fleece, which is like the most powerful occult society of
yes. Yes, they're like one of the top, like all the heads of states are a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And they wear that red of the carpet that Red Cloak has got as well, and the double-headed eagle is the insignia of the Habsburg family, who was like the leaders of the Holy Roman Empire for like 1,000 years. And like they owned Spain when Columbus came to America, like they owned the New World. It's just huge if you start cracking open what's Kubrick showing us, and so I went and looked in the Order of the Golden Fleece. They have the ability to sanctify a ritual space for mass, for a holy mass. And every other holy mass has to be done in a church. But these guys were doing it at the Rothschild house. And so they have to have one of these guys to actually sanctify it, to make it a real mass, to make it a real.
That's so interesting. Because it's you mentioned how it's a birthing, impregnating event. I've had this theory that these elites go to these sex parties, everybody's girls involved, and if they get pregnant there, and your girl gets pregnant, you have to raise that kid as your child, and that's my opinion on Princess Di and King Charles. Like none of his kids look like him. They all there's specific people you go, that looks a lot like Prince who's the older one? Prince William looks a lot like the Smithers.
Oh, you're talking about like incest too, though. They got the brothers and everything involved.
Well, I think there probably is.
Yeah.
Because they are royals and they like to keep the bloodline like that. But what I'm saying is that King Charles' kids don't look like him. They look like other people. Prince William looks like the Rothschild that just passed. And the younger brother, what's his name? Prince, the one who's banging the black chick. What's his name?
The curly-haired one.
No, the redhead one.
The redhead.
Harry?
Yeah.
Prince Harry looks like her bodyguard or the guy who taught him riding horses. Looks exactly like him. So
there's secret bloodlines. Like they know whose baby's who, Well, I don't know, but with the wife swapping stuff, I think the ritual is all the males wear a mask.
Yep.
So then like the woman goes and chooses the first man that she's going to be fornicate with, but then everybody runs a train on her. Like everybody, they just mix it all up. I think
you guys think that sounds crazy. I think that's 100% true.
Kind of like a Diddy party where it's just a free for all. If she gets pregnant, she gets pregnant.
Yeah, and whoever the dad is has to raise that kid like it's his kid.
And so like Alice chose Bill to be the idiot. So Alice set up her nest with Bill, and then Bill thinks that Helena is his daughter. But there is no familial relation. She went and got, inseminated at one of these parties and raised the baby with Bill. Bill is the dupe. He's like, they keep him rich and he doesn't do anything. He just like,
money and power to be cut.
Right. Right. And he's so like obviously led by sex, and he's so stupid, and he just goes blank. Like when he's in Rainbow Fashions and Milich offers his daughter, in quotes, to him for sex. He says, if you ever need anything, it needn't be a costume. Bill just goes blank. He does the dissociative stare and then walks away. Like he's the perfect jerk, like he's so that's his character. He's first seen in the dark, and he is in the dark the whole movie, and in the end he's distracted with sex while his daughter gets stolen. And when we get further into it, I will show you about my Fidelio experiment, and you'll see how the relations of the screen, on one screen, Helena walks away and Bill is not looking. On the next screen over, Bill is staring at Helena sleeping in bed. He really loves her and cares, and then and in the third screen, I forget. We can bring it up and I can show you. But the Bill is not looking when she's taken. His eyes are wide shut. And then the whole thing where everybody knows, like, you don't, especially in the 90s, like, you don't let your kid run around in a toy store. Like, there's a satanic panic and crap, and everybody was worried about their kids, and everybody's, that's when they started with leashes, the leash on a kid, like, it's crazy. But everybody, all the people watching, they all know that. And inside their subconscious, they might not be noticing, but there's like this raising tension, like, where's Helena? Where's Helena? And I've shown that her kidnapper is behind them, following Bill and Alice in the store.
Those two old guys.
Yes. Okay. Those are the old guys that are like in charge and taking her, but they're not going to grab her physically. They're like rich guys, they're going to hire a thug. Okay. So there's this like 30 something he's like an Italian looking guy with like a black coat, and who sees Bill actually moves for the guy and like kind of nods his head once they enter the toy store at the end. And then you see the guy go behind and then turn like a J, and then he's following them. And then they come around the corner and he's still following them. And Kubrick frames them between Alice and Bill's face. Like he's like, look right there. There he is. And then the guy like goes down behind the aisle, the next aisle over. So when Helena goes and turns the corner, there he is. So like that's the actual kidnapper, is the guy that's following. So the two guys, we're seeing it, but there's actually a kidnapper that Kubrick includes, and she goes to her place like a mark as a movie star. They'll put like a X on the floor where she's supposed to stand, right? So this is where she goes. There's like all these teddy bears, and then she goes and stands in front of the stuffed tigers. And the stuffed tigers and the predator cat relates to Inanna Ishtar again. So and then we see that same tiger was on Mandy's bed when Bill was at the hooker's house. And so Mandy 2 is one of them. Like Kubrick is showing us all the different stages of the lifespan of the programmed multiple MKUltra slave, right? The ones that are the beta sex kitten variety. So we see Helena is in the hypnagogic trance at 7 years old, just like absorbing, and she's fully dissociated all the time. Like Alice is brushing her hair and, grooming her, like literally grooming. And you see on the curtains behind, there's upside down 5-pointed stars that align perfectly with the brush. So like Kubrick is using the photography to show that she's being groomed with Satanism, literally.
And this is the little girl?
The little girl, Helena, yeah.
Wow.
And she wears a tutu, and she's wearing ballet slippers when we first see her. And she's wearing butterfly wings, which is just like Psyche. Psyche and Eros, the story of them, Psyche was a human woman who became a goddess. And the butterfly wings represent that metamorphosis.
Whoa.
And if anybody knows about Butterfly and the MKUltra stuff, Butterfly, I mean, look at Dolly Parton and all that. I saw her on the magazine the other day, 80 years old Dolly. I'm like, geez, they're still riding that horse. Like, holy crap. But I mean, like, really.
I wonder
like,
what happens with the sex goddess back in the day when she gets past her fertility. Do they replace her?
Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
What happens is Mandy, like they use her up and they kill her.
Oh, wow.
That's what Mandy's role. Like Mandy was, she was in the newspaper clipping. It talks about Mandy's life a little bit, and she was with Leo Vitale, who actually is the actor who played Red Cloak. If you think of that's kind of
wow, this is dark, dude. Wow, that's some crazy shit, dude.
Dude, we just started, man. Go ahead if you want to say something.
No, keep going, but it's crazy, dude. How dark the dark arts are.
So yes, like the whole thing with Mandy, it could cost me my life, and she knew what she was doing. She understands the rules of the game. Red Cloak was like, no one can change her fate now, and then he says, go, you are free, right? Whoa. And then he goes home and locks the door behind him. He's like not raped by all those crazy people in masks. And then he goes and he looks at his daughter and he's like, oh, I'm so glad I have her. But exactly 1 hour after that, is when Helena gets stolen and she's looking. So like there's this.
Oh my God.
So like, okay, there's all the symbolism. Okay. But I have discovered that Eyes Wide Shut synchronizes with itself precisely at 1 hour intervals.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, if you play Eyes Wide Shut on one screen, and then when it hits 1 hour exactly, 10000, you push play on the next screen. And then those synchronize. Like, one moment, like,
what?
Alice says, she introduces herself, I'm Alice, to the guy Zandor Zavost, the Hungarian at the party with her drink. And that's exactly the moment 1 hour before Milich is finding his daughter in the rainbow room. And he's looking at the dress, the nightie. And she says, I think that's my glass over in the other screen. And then he says, she introduces, I'm Alice Harford, as he's like, can't you see she's my daughter? Like right then. So like it's showing us that Alice and Lily Sobieski are related. This juxtaposition shows they are the same almost. And I've even
that is
so like, then you do a third screen at 2 hours, and then you're like, holy shit, this is like I am in Wonderland now, like because it all aligns all three. Okay. Like that same moment where I am Alice Harford and Lily Sobieski is the same moment another hour later when Bill learns Miss Amanda Curran, oh, she died this afternoon. And then he's going to see Mandy in the morgue. And the moment that the drawer opens from the morgue is the same moment that the men get slammed into the glass room and locked. Like the sound is exactly on, like exact. Slam.
Kubrick.
And then she's
so
like,
intense.
oh, they went someplace with a very bad climate, and she's in a very bad climate. She's in a freezer, Mandy dead on a slab. And then like Milich is yelling at his daughter in quotes, you little whore, I'll kill you for this. And then you look on the other screen, there's Mandy dead on the slab. And it's like, holy shit. So like we see
Whoa. So you're synchronizing different points in the movie.
Exactly. 1 hour precisely.
Wow.
So like, yes.
Do you understand that?
Yeah,
XG?
but what I'm wondering is, I mean, obviously I know he's a genius, but how do you prepare for something to synchronize something an hour ahead for every sequence.
Well, I mean, like
I can tell you.
Okay,
Go ahead. So
question.
if you want, I can share screen and I could show some quotes from Kubrick. But
Yeah, please. I think visuals would be wonderful. Let me just set you up.
All right.
There we go.
So there are a couple documentaries where you can find. Here, let's see. Find a browser. Okay. All right. Oh, I didn't share sound. Here, wait. Do I have to do it again to share sound?
Yeah, probably stop sharing.
I'll stop. I'll stop and I'll go again. Okay, sorry. Browser, share sound. Okay. So the thing where it aligns with itself, that's called Fidelio time code. Well, actually, that's called the Fidelio experiment. Okay. And you can find it on onegreatworknetwork.com. That's my page where onegreatworknetwork.com/Sean-McCann. And that's Mark Passio is gracious enough to give me a spot on his great network because I don't have enough money to have my own website. Right on. So this here is my original Occult Kubrick and the Butterfly Net, where I describe the whole thing about what it is. Little nudity there. So I go through pretty much the whole movie and I describe about my theory, right? So people can see that. But here we go. This will help you guys understand how the mind of Kubrick was putting these things together. So here.
He always would say,
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
when we would talk about it, isn't it silly? The cheapest part of all this is do another take. You've spent millions of dollars preparing and building sets, hiring people, doing costumes, and months writing a script, years sometimes. And then you get there and you quit on take 5 or take 6 or take 7. Isn't that silly? You don't know what's going to happen if you try 3 or 4 or 5.
Right. So that really makes sense. And that's where Kubrick's coming from. Okay.
So you mean he just kept doing the scene over and over again? Just
right.
so if they could find lightning in the bottle?
Basically. And here Sidney Pollack goes further and he gives a little bit more of a clue. These are clips from the last movie. It's a documentary about Eyes Wide Shut. And this is Sidney Pollack plays Ziegler, which actually is German for Mason. And, the tri-corner hat and all that relates to this guy. I can get deep into all kinds of crap. But anyway, this is we're trying to we're trying to stay on point with the timing. And so I've got some good clips here to help people understand with the timing.
In the acting scenes, he worked in a way I understood very well, which is a kind of feel your way through it as you go. You have the boundaries of the scene in your head, as he did. But then he sort of gives you a little push off and sees where you go. And then he starts to correct it slowly. And then he records it on video with the tap. He wouldn't film it. Sometimes he would record it on video. Then he would show it to us. I'd sit here, Tom would sit here. He would go through it, freeze the frame, and say, see that when you turned your head like that? Oh, he will change this. Or at the end of a take, he'd say, okay, Sidney, come here. I'd come and I'd sit down. He wouldn't say anything to Tom. Then he would go through it with me. Or, okay, Tom, come here. Let's watch this.
So he was able to get into how they were saying their lines, the cadence of the words. So this right here is, we're going to hear a clip from Kubrick himself talking about the timing. Here, wait. It's audio, okay.
We had discussions about the elusive quality of perfection because down by take 75, a host of other things start going wrong. The tape finally gives out that held something onto the wall. And
did you say something?
No. It's just take 75.
Wild.
Oh yeah,
This is,
dude,
by the
it's
way,
ruthless.
why I hate acting. I can't act.
It's funny. I think it's a Dennis Hopper, one of these old school guys. Maybe Robert Duval has hated Kubrick for this. They were really had no respect for him. Who was it? Do you remember?
Harvey Keitel was
Harvey
supposed
Keitel.
to be Ziegler.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God. Yeah, he hates.
Yeah, and he couldn't take it.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our good friends at Helix Sleep. You know we love our beds. We all have Helix Sleep beds. I love my Midnight Lux. It's the best, okay? And you can sleep like a king and queen too if you just check out helixsleep.com. Listen, guys, it's getting cold outside. You're spending more time indoors and you're probably napping a lot, all right? You got to have a good mattress to nap on. And Helix Sleep is the Michael Jordan of mattresses. I promise you that. We love our mattresses. It's really easy to find which one matches with you, okay? You just take a quick sleep quiz, matches you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs, okay? It makes buying a mattress easy. They're award-winning, okay? Helix is the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. They have free shipping and seamless delivery. Helix Sleep delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. Listen, they'll make you happy with a Helix guarantee. Rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you are completely satisfied with your new mattress. And of course, their guarantee is a 120-night sleep trial and limited lifetime warranty. That's pretty amazing, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's
Unreal.
Just pure fire.
For a
okay?
mattress, dude, that's crazy.
A study ran that they found that 82% of those involved saw an increase in their deep cycle sleep while sleeping on a Helix mattress. So here's what we need you to do, guys. We need you to go to helixsleep.com/tinfoil for, yep, you got it, guys, their New Year's Eve final hours sale, 20% off site-wide. Woo. That's helixsleep.com/tinfoil for their New Year's Eve final hour sale, 20% off site-wide. Okay? Man, it's a blessing, dude. One more time, we love them and we appreciate them. And if you want to support them, go to helixsleep.com/tinfoil.
So this will show you for Barry Lyndon, the composer of the flutes and stuff. He gets it he attacks Kubrick, grabs his neck, and watch. Okay.
Entropy takes over. We're all growing older, so this search is extraordinary. He never gives up.
It was during a scene of a great many army people, Irish army, whatever it was. But we utilized a lot of material that was absolutely authentic flutes from museums, authentic drums, and so on and so forth. And it was very easy. I've, after all, recorded some very avant-garde music that's very difficult, and this was a cinch. We did 105 takes on this thing, and take 2 was perfect.
Yeah.
And the orchestra looked at me, and I looked at them as though we're dealing with an insane person. And 105 takes, and finally, I threw down the baton, ran into the thing, and grabbed him by the neck and wanted to throw him through the window, and everyone started laughing there kind of nervously, and he said, "You're crazy." And I said, "Well, you've driven everybody crazy. That's the problem."
This is Kubrick himself.
Directing a movie, if you try to do it properly, is not always fun because you are in conflict with people. If you try to get it right and you care about it, it isn't something which is the greatest fun in the world. It's immensely satisfying sometimes, but it is a lot of hard work, and there is a lot of personal tension that occurs with everybody. The analogy would be better in a sort of military sense, in that Napoleon, if he didn't pay as much attention to the precise details of his marching, how he brought his troops to the right town on the right day, and he worked out all the calculations where they would come from different places, and did all the mathematics himself and got them there at the right time, he would never have had an opportunity to be a genius on the battlefield.
crazy.
What's the most?
Imagine if I did that with this show.
Wait up. The ad reads are kind of like that, right, Johnny?
Good light. Take 300.
Well, you see how the emphasis on the timing of all of the soldiers, he calculated their footsteps, and that's why he was able to create the genius on the battlefield. And if you think metaphorically, each one of his films is like a set of troops coming to your brain to like influence you with ideas, and with his non-submersible units, we'll get into, this is how he's able to keep a story going through all of his movies. It's, well, I guess you don't know, but we'll keep going here. So, okay, that was the battles are the equivalent of making a film. Now here, he's talking about editing.
It must be.
This is from after Full Metal Jacket, but before it was released, he was interviewed for a magazine.
Wonderful for you. You've often said that editing may be the most important. It is.
He said that it's kind of hard to hear the interviewer, but he said, you said that editing may be the most important.
Yes.
And Kubrick says, it is.
They should give the editing award at the end. That should be the last award given at the Oscars.
You get it. You understand. So that's what Kubrick is getting at with this quote. Like, it's crazy.
Well, it's certainly one of them. I mean, it's equal to writing. I mean, there are three equal things, I would say. The writing, the actual slogging it out of the filming, and the editing. So it is equal. And it just allows you so much more concentration and, not wasting time.
You said that editing is really the only original, unique art.
That's right.
Can you elaborate?
Well, the ones that struck me, as I see, I get the pro football games sent over to me. And Michelov has done a series last year of kind of impressions, people just having a good time with the editing and photography. Just the visual stuff is, I think, it's the most brilliant I've ever seen. Have you seen those?
City at Night for the one that starts. Yeah.
Something. Well, there's a variety of them. Incredible cutting. 8-frame cuts. Just beautiful. And where you realize in 30 seconds they've created an impression of something rather complex. I've also thought that, and I haven't done it, that no one else has, is that the ultimate way of telling a film story would have more to do with TV commercials than it does to the way they are presently told. That the economy of statement and the kind of visual poetry, which actually, if you forget what they're doing, selling beer or something, it's really visual poetry that if you could ever actually tell a story with anything like that kind of approach, first of all, you could handle vastly more complex and subtle material.
So that's how he can fold in all the symbolism and,
He
has
a contempt for...
Okay. So next one, this guy, he wrote AI, and he explains the non-submersible units. And
what do you mean AI? There's a movie called AI?
Yeah, the one that would, so artificial intelligence,
I remember this one. I think, is it the one with the little kid?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one.
There's a convoluted history to that getting made, right?
Yes. It was being made at the same time as Eyes Wide Shut. And Kubrick gave it up to his friend, the
Spielberg, right?
The PDF file. Yes, Spielberg. He gave it to him, and I believe it was almost like, here's the mirror, look at yourself, because it's who wants a total slave of a child that never grows up and does whatever you want, and all of his friends are sex robots. Like, it's very dark, that movie. And Kubrick wanted the mom to be alcoholic, and he was going way darker. But the whole thing with Pinocchio,
that's the same thing he did with The Shining, right? Famously, he made it much darker and less optimistic. Which that's a whole other.
Yeah, if you want to talk about The Shining too, I believe The Shining, like the Overlook Hotel, is hell. It's like the Tesseract, the fourth dimension of trap for his soul. We can get into that too. It's really deep and fun. The way that Danny rides through the hallways. Like, if you guys understand,
here, put it on you real quick so we can see you talking, because we're looking at this guy and we're hearing you talk.
Oh, right.
Just so we can hear what you're saying. See
I'll
what you're
unshare. I'll unshare here. 1 second. Okay. So like when Danny is on his 3-wheel, like going through the hallways of the Overlook, that is creating the visual of the hypercube. So if anybody wants to look up what the hypercube looks like, it's represented by this like infinitely moving like cube within a cube, and the smaller cube on the inside becomes the larger cube, and then it gets sucked back in again. It's this like never-ending extruding 4-dimensional thing. So if you look at the hallways, the way that Danny is bringing the camera down the hallway, if you look way down the end of the hallway is a little square, and then the frame around Danny is a larger square. And then as Danny goes towards the little one grows and becomes the outside square. And then there's another one down the end of the hallway. So like him going endlessly through the hallway is like is creating this hypercube. Yeah. Right. So like and that's a very dark, it's like a satanic symbol, and Kubrick uses it as the lighting fixture when Bill is going down into Sonata Cafe. They have like a Tesseract lighting fixture. And also like at the end of The Shining, there's all these black and white square photographs on the wall.
Yeah.
And that's what you'd call a tessellated array.
If you look, it's actually in our studio right now, over in the corner. That film from the end of The Shining is right behind, between those two guys right there.
Yeah.
Yes. So like
Johnny's Dark Arts.
That's great. I'm glad that you guys are that Johnny is down the rabbit hole of these. It's
Way
great,
down.
dude. It's great.
It's his life.
By the way, it was Robert Duval who had this weird take on the takes about. I mean, I know others have had great problems, but Robert Duvall has during this press junket is like he's the actor's enemy.
Right.
I think that's the enemy of creativity.
Right. Not really though. So like,
no, I agree. I totally agree. That's just Duvall. He's prickly.
Yeah. I mean, he's great. In one respect, he's in his own way. But
yes.
But the way that Kubrick wears them down, and he grinds away, they're like what I want to be, and I want to do the acting like this, and then after 100 takes, they're just like tired, exhausted, and it's just like there's nothing left except for what's inside.
Shelley Duvall famously, right? He just wore her to a nub during that during filming of the show.
But then you're seeing how her face is, what I mean? It's perfect on the camera. He's creating that tension within her,
in The Shining, yes. She went kind of crazy after that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not one to judge, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, God bless her. We love her.
But she was in big movies, and then she just disappeared. Like she was in Popeye. You remember? Popeye was huge at that time.
I mean, you wouldn't say she's a classic Hollywood style actress, though, right? Like she is,
but she has that what we call alternative beauty.
Yes.
Which pops on the screen.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Which used to be really big in Hollywood. That has disappeared. Now it's all shiny object dog shit.
Leading men and women thing. Yeah.
But the women have, in a weird way, regressed in their beauty, like who they're trying to push onto us as these leads. can't compare to what I grew up with.
In beauty, you mean?
In beauty, they're attractive. If they walked in, would be like, "Wow, you're really hot," but we're regular guys.
Would you say like the biggest actor of your generation, or maybe the generation before you, is like Meryl Streep? Probably. Would you say she was like a 10?
But she was. I mean, like when we think of leading lady, we're thinking of like
Meryl Streep, dude.
She was a great actress, but she was playing those gritty roles, right? I'm talking about like when you would have that classical beauty that the leading man has to save. Like we're not getting that anymore. That one chick from Dune is like push forward. Now, she's a cute chick. I would say she's an attractive chick, but she's not like Angelina Jolie.
Zendaya, yeah.
Yeah, like right. Angelina Jolie, when she was on screen, you're like, you're watching greatness.
Sydney Sweeney, kind of?
But she's not in that. She's
a lightweight actor, but she's kind of.
Yeah, but she's not the lead. Like maybe the last one is who's the Australian chick?
She's been the lead in a couple of movies lately, yeah.
But not like blockbusters.
You're thinking of who's in that new film that's about to come out, Wuthering Heights, right? Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie probably is one, but she's garbage actress, dude.
The one that's pretty hot was the one on Transformer.
Yeah,
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Yeah, but she's drinking blood.
Yeah,
come on.
But the point is, it's like even they're kind of long in the tooth in a weird way, even though they're younger than me. And I'm really long in the tooth. But back in the day, the classic beauties.
No, I got what you. They're very much into that. Are they an alien look? You know, like what's that girl's name from the one with the eyes that are like on either side of her head? Oh shit! What is it?
Oh, and she's always playing a chick who can kick ass. Like she's in she's in Mad Max. She's in the Mad Max.
Oh yes, you're right in that. Yeah,
she's a waif model who beats up everybody.
Yes, I first saw her in The Witch.
From The Witch, yes, she was the blonde in The Witch.
That's a wonderful film.
Yeah, she's got those cattle eyes where they're on the side of her head.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. I mean. Right. She's attractive. She has that in a weird way, but it's like again, I don't know. It just seems to change who the leads are.
Look at what they did to Angelina Jolie. She removed her breasts and her uterus.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
Her breast was on purpose.
She had a mastectomy? I didn't know that.
Yes, because she was afraid that she was going to get breast cancer. They mind controlled her into believing that she might get breast cancer, so she took them off before she got it.
What, like told her she had that genetic thing that made you susceptible? Is that what it is?
Right. And she removed her uterus. Oh. So now she's like, she's just an empty vessel. A eunuch, basically, a female eunuch. And then all the shit with her kids and all the adoptions and all that, like she was the pinnacle of like, wow, look at it. Like I loved Angelina Jolie. And then they scoop her out and make her not even a woman anymore. And then they can't even say what a woman is. What's a woman? I don't know. Like, I mean, it's demonic. Yes, right. Goes back to the same old thing that, the priests of Inanna, like they were male priests who would chop off everything.
Yep.
They're nummos, and they would wear a dress. They would wear a dress, and nullo, yeah. And they would wear a dress, and then they'd give their ass just like the other ones are giving their punani. It's making money for the cult. Dress up like a female, dance around. They would castrate themselves in public in front of everybody. The blood would get everywhere, and they would get cats and nine tails, cut their back open, and like blood all over the place. And Rome allowed it because it made so much money for them, like the Magna Mater cult, and like that's the same as Cybele. Is the same as Inanna Ishtar, the same mother goddess. And, that's where St. Peter's Basilica is, where Cybele's temple was. Like right there. Like that's the heart of the Roman Catholic Church. And then you look at what is the Roman Catholic Church. It is the same cult of Magna Mater, like, Mary is the goddess and we got to kill the child and drink its blood. And, it's the same old religion, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of Mary worship, Johnny?
I don't think of it. I don't. I mean, it's
just another layer of deceit, I think.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I grew up thinking that was not the way. of course.
The worship of the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Right.
a Catholic thing. Yeah, we put her on. Yeah, she's like a saint. To
I
us.
mean, people see her
Right.
everywhere.
But bigger than
You're
a
a
saint.
saint, but you
Yeah, we
just
do.
see
no,
her
I mean they
on-
literally
No,
like
we
she
do.
appears in visions to people.
No,
like, all the time.
yeah,
I
Catholics.
get that, but there's like some people that you pray to her.
Yeah, people
the
pray to her.
Catholics
Yeah,
pray to her. Yeah.
we pray to her.
They
Yeah.
pray to all the saints.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
Yeah,
bless us,
there's
blah, blah, blah.
there's a whole
Yeah.
verse for the Virgin Mary. Yeah, and then people carry her on her thing. There's like just like there's one of these. Some people have the Virgin Mary as a pendant, and it's just the Virgin Mary, and
Right.
she's like beautiful.
People have all kinds of saints.
Yeah.
Right, like the depiction of the Virgin Mary, she's within the Vesica Pisces, and her face is right where the clitoris would be. You know, she's the sacred feminine, and that's the same symbol as always been. You know, and then if you look further at what the Roman Catholic Church, there's a lot of tenet worship where it's an upward triangle with the circle above, and that also is the same. You know, from Carthage, and they would sacrifice children to her and Baal, Haman. So like,
Jeez.
there's like, it's the same, and it's always been, you know, and child sacrifice is so integral to it that we even have to kill Jesus, and everybody has to look at his bloody body every week, and like we all have to drink his blood, and you know, all that crap. It's very dark and evil, and it's like they're rubbing our nose in it. You know what I mean? It's the old religion. So like,
It's
Kubrick
a
was
famous
aware
Bill
of this.
Hicks bit about, you know, we talked about Johnny about like wearing the cross. It's like going up to Jackie Onassis and with a rifle on your appendix, going thinking of John.
Just thinking of John, Jackie.
I mean, I know he's Christian, but if you go to a Catholic church, it's a different vibe. It's like a sad vibe to it. They're like literally
Yes.
they
It's
have
serious.
when it's serious. It's super serious.
People
it's not,
like that though. That's what a lot of people like about the liturgy and the history, the feeling of being kind of wrapped up in a tradition that goes back to
Yeah, I get
the
that.
early church.
Yeah, like you go and like they have stained glass, and the stained glass is like of Jesus first getting like
The Stations of the Cross.
like the whole way till he gets thing, and you're as a little kid, you're like, why are we like? It's kind of pretty traumatizing. You're like, holy
I mean,
crap.
many Catholic churches have
exactly
him on
that.
the cross, behind the you know, you see them on behind the lectern or whatever.
Yeah, and he
the
does it,
actual
and
cross.
and there's blood
the
on the hands.
crucifixion,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's blood on the hands. It's not just a cross. He's literally looks like he's suffering, and you're supposed to sit there and be like, it's kind of weird. Now I think about it.
Trauma-based mind control. Hello, like it's always been that. Like these people that would go to church, they can't read, they don't know Latin, and they look at the Stations of the Cross, and then they look at this hanging body, and then they're like, "Oh, that's what's in store for me if I go against Rome." You know, do what I'm told. Give to Rome. You know,
That's so much of We Got Your Guy.
yeah. Totally. Like, dude, it's like a ancient chess match. You know what I mean? Like, you look at Tracy Twyman talking to Baphomet, and he's explaining to her about how the crucifixion of Jesus was like a literal, like playing out of the chess match of Satan winning. Like, it's. I don't know if you want to read that book, Baphomet, with Tracy Twyman and Alex Rivera. I think that was his name, Rivera. Alex. Shit, I forget his last name. Anyway,
That's some dark shit, dude. She got into some dark shit.
Yeah. I mean, she discovered that. I mean, she went and told the FBI. She thought, like, okay, they're trafficking kids on YouTube, and then she's going to tell the FBI, like, they're the ones doing it. Like people have to see the MK or the Manchurian Candidate series that William and Hans and I have been. Holy crap! The FBI is all about dominating the minds and controlling people for the government. Like there is no good there.
What do you? We've had discussion. We just had John Kiriakou on, and what do you think the real purpose of our intelligence agencies are? Are
blackmail.
Their job is to blackmail?
I think so.
Are they there to? Are they kind of like a secret force, special ops force for the elites?
So like they've got bloodlines that like the Bene Gesserit pay attention to bloodlines and doing the same shit. There's like the mothers of darkness, they pay attention to the bloodlines, and they who goes into power where, that type of thing. But I think that when the secret societies in the colleges, Kubrick even displayed that the homos in the street that were pushing Bill, and they were like, oh, look at this, like calling him
literal homosexuals.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know what was the term for.
they're all wearing Yale sweatshirts and Yale hats and shit, and they're like on the streets of New York being homos, like pushing people around. And it's like Kubrick is showing us that's like the younger version of Ziegler, and because they all went to those schools and shit, and like so it's kind of like a greased avenue of bloodline individuals to get put into power. And if you look at trauma-based mind control, you can go so far and create a program multiple, or you can go another way and create a psychopath. And that also happens when they want to, like, psychopathy is not genetic. It has to be like triggered in a person, and they have to choose with their free will to go against their moral, inside, I guess. Like, it's a continual accepting of immorality, and it just grinds away.
It's a cycle that is trauma delivered trauma to the next generation. And
right,
we've talked about the 9/11, the private black ops Mossad office that is Nick Kroll's dad, and then Nick Kroll, who's super talented. I mean, like that guy's a 5-tool player, and you just look at like his roles of his parents and then how big he got in Hollywood. The Nick Kroll show was hilarious. But it's like he's part of the cog, the machine. He goes into the propaganda wing, entertaining people. His cartoon on Adult Swim, or I don't know where it was so dark with children's sex. Like, he even did a promo where, like, if you make a crazy video and we like it, we'll feature you in a thing. And he beeps all the stuff, but he's like, literally, it's like he's like making a message for kids, and he's doing that. And it's like, really, you're like, bro, what are you doing? And that's it. And it's like, you bring up Spielberg. I mean, Spielberg shows up to the Golden Globes. And, we're a huge Nikki Glaser, or at least I am a huge Nikki Glaser fan. And I was happy for her. She did an incredible job in a very difficult situation. But it's like, there's so many of these guys that are so obviously dark. And it's like, as long as they're producing, they get to keep going. But the minute they stop producing, they'll get thrown under the bus. Because the FBI, the CIA, they all have to act like they're fighting this darkness. So they just throw out used brands.
Right, like Epstein.
Like any of these guys that kind of get taken out when they're older. Like even the Clintons. Like the fact that they want to fucking haul them in front of some Senate goes, their power's done. They have no power. They're expendable.
Right. But I mean, really, what's going to be exposed? Like, they're not going to incriminate themselves,
right? But it's like there's certain people in Hollywood that I know are into dark arts, dark shit, and when they're no longer producing and making the machine money, right, they're going to get thrown under the bus because there has to be this presentation of, oh, we're fighting these dark arts people. Look at what we got. This guy, he's a fucking vicious pedophile. Well, it's because he's dumb. I mean, that's the whole argument with P. Diddy, right? Like even Michael Jackson, and some people don't think he was a pedo. I have friends of mine who worked with him. It was very weird behavior. Okay, very weird behavior. Why are you snickering, Johnny?
No, I just think anybody who's in denial about MJ, it's just like, come on, man.
They're like, oh, he's going after the Jew. Well, he most likely was sexually assaulted as a child. His father was one of the worst human beings. I mean, you couldn't get a worse dad than that piece of shit. And he was making them money, but then like any of these guys, they eventually go, why am I giving these guys all this money? I can make my money. They hate that, dude.
They did it to Drake.
They did it to all these rappers who get assassinated. They did it to Charlie Kirk, right? There's a real argument they did to Louis C.K. when he started producing his own specials on his own website and keeping all the money. Bang,
that's why Bob Dylan's still playing.
Yeah,
that's why they're still grinding with
Frankie Valli, right? Like that guy.
Good Lord. I mean,
but Dolly Parton is still on the magazines at 80. They're still she's still going.
Frankie,
because she knows once she stops, she's done.
Frankie Valli can barely move his lips to lip sync. It's not even lip syncing is an exertion for him.
And the guys out behind him are so excited.
Dude, they're carrying a lot of water, bro. Yeah, it's so funny.
I think Bruno Mars is gonna end up like that too. Just one guy that you see old.
Well, there was all this talk about him involved with a blood sacrifice.
Oh, I think that's why he has a residency in Vegas. He
has a residency because he had a crippling gambling problem and he had to pay them all. They're like, I'll just play for a month and you keep all the money.
That's a good deal.
Frankie Valli is like a vampire. I'll just pull it up for people who haven't seen it. It's so funny.
But there's actors like that or artists like that are Mexican as well. That you're like, why are you still fucking singing?
There's a very famous comic that I'm not going to say his name, but there is some real belief that he got involved in some voodoo shit, changed his entire act and vibe, and then suddenly blew up.
Who?
I just said I'm not going to say who it is. I'll tell you after.
You can tell us. What race? What race?
I'm not going to say that either.
White people don't get involved in voodoo.
Well, they get involved in dark arts.
Uh-huh.
They get involved in the dark arts.
Okay.
Voodoo is just another branch of that same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the dark arts, like Passio will tell you, it's not just the Jews or just the Jesuits. It's like it's all
those guys are all middle management, dude.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the day, it's all Babylonian shit.
Exactly.
How old is he? How old is that?
That's got to be 90. Don't play it. We'll get 10 flag.
It's like Ozzy in his last days.
So live. I don't think live will get you.
Okay.
He is lip syncing, so I don't.
Look at that background singer. The background singer's doing.
That's supposed to be him singing if you're listening at home.
What the fuck?
People watching probably pay $200.
Keep making us money, dude. Keep making us money.
Ruthless.
This thing's gonna get flagged left and right.
Look at that, dude.
Is that?
But
Vegas?
I mean, it goes to show.
I'm 53. I hate touring.
And that's
what about at
2024.
80 or 90? You want to get on a plane and tour?
Look at that, dude.
Right.
Good Lord.
You sold your soul,
if
buddy.
not, you end up like Marilyn Monroe with like a bunch of barbiturates up your cooter.
Yeah, but dude, that's one of the craziest weird stories. You're telling me that gorgeous blonde girl didn't get adopted by anybody? Nobody's like, let's adopt a kid. Nope, not that pretty white girl with the beautiful blonde hair. Nope. What are we talking about here?
Right. And then you look at like Bryce Taylor, thanks for the memories. Bryce Taylor, she was a presidential model of these, program multiples. She was purchased by Kissinger and Bob Hope. And, they got them on a stage and they auctioned them off. Like that's how they find their owners. You know what I mean? He told her when she was a little kid.
That's like Taken, remember?
Oh,
he has to go get his daughter on a fucking
sure.
boat.
And they
Hollywood.
And then they auction them off where you like place a bid.
And he just goes and kills everybody.
Yeah.
God, those are great movies.
So that's like how, Kathy O'Brien's father is one of the worst people. And, the government got him with blackmail. They're like, look, we can send you to jail or you can work for us and give us your daughter, it's blackmail is like, you look at Kay Griggs, the interview Kay Griggs did where her husband was naval intelligence and would get drunk and just tell her everything about all of the operations and all of the weird, ritual, homo parties that they would do. And dude, legit. And like, and then you talk to Carrie Elahi. She'll tell you about how her father was in the military, and he was like, she was used, like they would like have like 5 dudes in their military uniforms that like go one at a time, go like film it all, and he would, and the dad would be into like snuff porn and like that kind of brutal, violent
That's
shit.
a
while he
famous
was
story
abusing.
about Dick Van Dyke's brother and his daughter, and how she ended up becoming an adult film star. And he would just bring her on set and let everybody have their way.
Fuck.
Dude, it's like you get the wrong.
Didn't
parent,
Spielberg's daughter? Didn't that happen?
Well, I
Spielberg's
mean,
daughter, you're right.
Yeah. She wanted to get into pornography.
Yeah.
Remember? And then Fishburne's daughter got into pornography as well.
Right.
Lawrence Fishburne's daughter?
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
He was so pissed because she didn't even change her name.
But if you look at what Hollywood is, the actresses are whores. Like look at MGM Studios, and like I think it was MGM, but Meyer, like the mob ties and all that stuff. But they would have a whorehouse on lot. They would just get your rocks off and come back to set in 20 minutes or something. It was like part of the thing. And so like the films are the advertisement. Like look at Wild Things, the chick from Wild Things, Denise Richards,
yeah.
She was Charlie Sheen's favorite whore. He married her. Right? She stopped acting because she got more money as being a whore. Same thing with like the American Beauty, the little girl that was up with all the roses, petals and shit. She's a dominatrix now in Hollywood. Like she graduated.
What?
Yeah, dude. Yes. Like she only did that movie. Like she's done acting. She makes
Mina
like 50
Savari,
grand.
Right? Yeah, she was in American Pie too, right? Mina
Yeah.
Savari, yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about with all the flower petals.
Whoa.
Mina Savari.
Right.
That's bombs, dude. Dropping bombs.
She was in some good comedies in the early 2000s.
And they also age out a little bit, so they have to figure out probably a game that they can play to stay alive.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and that's the funniest thing about the Weinstein, if there's anything funny about it. Like, they're all doing it. They call him out.
Right.
And again, it gets to the point where he's no longer relevant and producing and making money, so they just get rid of you. That again, that's the whole P. Diddy thing. Like, he was no longer producing hits. He hadn't had.
Did he ever, dude? No.
I mean, like,
he never made a hit.
I mean, he was huge, but he stole it all. Like, it's all stolen. Like, the worst thing in the world to hear is Notorious B.I.G.'s whole vibe, his name, and his first hits were all stolen. I mean, that is a gut punch.
Yeah, he totally jacked that guy's
from
spirit.
Mississippi. Yeah. Yep. Just
that's how they do it. Though. They sacrifice them, and they scoop up all that attention. Look at after Kurt Cobain was dead, like Courtney Love, just like shoom, she's super famous. After Charlie Kirk is dead, like his wife there,
and they're both
jumping out with their leather tights, and all the fireworks and everything. I mean, come on, like
it's just like, I mean, you couldn't play this more wrong if you tried. Erica Kirk. I mean, like, she's doing like people like Candace Owens, and some people have problems with Candace Owens. I don't have any faith in anybody. I mean, she seems to put out a lot of good stuff. Everyone's list one little thing wrong, they throw out everything she's saying. But she just played something of Erica Kirk 2 weeks after the assassination, laughing and giggling and talking about how good the quote a memorial was for him. I mean, dude, she is just shish kebab. I think her parents did to her what Obama's grandpa did to his mother. Just shish kebab them and whore them out.
Right. Maybe she was his handler. Maybe she's part of that whole system of handling. Maybe this whole scenario was created on purpose and it was for the shock factor.
Do you think
I didn't choose to see what happened to him, and it was not a normal bullet, it was kind of like a revelation of their new technologies of what they can do. Just like 9/11 can make a building turn to dust, is like, look, guys, we can turn a building to dust. Don't mess with us. We got new weapons. It's like, how was there no bullet, and was there no spray? Like it just opened like a faucet. And why did I have to see it? Why did they traumatize me?
Trauma effect.
Right.
It's the same thing as 9/11. Just constantly showing you buildings.
Dude, Gaza, like children burning, like walking through fire, and I'm watching it. My tears are going. I'm like, horrified, and no, just people scroll. Okay.
As much as I think Twitter's opened up the dialogue, it's also, you've invited darkness in.
Dude, very much.
Yeah, I just watched a guy get droned the other day, and all the comments were like, remember when it used to be that you just couldn't casually see somebody being blown to smithereens?
It's like literally snuff films.
Yeah.
Yeah, legit. Yeah.
And literally snuff films.
They won't do anything about it either.
Yeah.
I think there should be a over 18, under 18 thing, and you can decide to click on it when you want. Like, okay, I want to participate in the world today. Let me turn that on.
Well,
and then
here's like, for every solution, there's a problem with that solution.
Right.
Then everything
Who's going to
really
enforce it?
gets fucking flagged.
No,
as
but
above 18.
it's like you look at you look at Australia, right? They want to get kids under 16 off of social media, and there's a lot of arguments that that's a great idea. But then people get into the fact that so many of these kids have now seen what Israel's doing, that they're very anti-Zionist. Now you're taking that away, and they don't have any ability to know what Israel's doing on a global scale.
They're also taking the IDs of everybody who wants to use them, because that's how they confirm your age eligibility. Via your ID.
Right.
Yeah.
Digital ID. Right.
And that gets into 100 days of flowers, which was what China did, where they gave everybody 100 days to criticize the government. And then at the end, they took everybody who criticized the government and killed them all.
Right. Just like in Full Metal Jacket, they're sprinkling lime on all the dead bodies in the ditch, and Joker's, taking notes, and the soldier's telling him, well, they all got invited to go to the government building, and everybody who showed up got shot in the head, thrown in the bin, and that's real government. When you trust the government and they bring you down a hallway, it's going to be like in Goodfellas when dude guy got made, and then they brought him to this old house, and he's like, crap, and they boom right behind the ear, like this is how they control you, So yeah, like blackmail. I kind of got off there, but
we always do. Welcome to Tinfoil Hat.
So like in Eyes Wide Shut, the rainbow room is the blackmail room. It's got the glass doors. The locks are on the outside. It's the same thing of what Epstein was doing, and that's like the entry point to power. And if you see that, like if you learn about SRA, the violent sexual trauma is necessary to split the mind. It's like one of the processes of doing so they have to put Lily through that in order to make her grow up to be a Mandy or an Alice, and so it's kind of like, to get a full understanding, like Kubrick is giving us Eyes Wide Shut at the end of like his entire career. He gives up on AI he's giving the pedophilia movie to the pedophile, to PDF file. I'm being sure not to accuse him of that, because I don't want to get sued.
I'll do it. He's scum.
yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing with Rob Reiner. Like everyone, like all your friends roasted you that you were a pedo. They all roasted him. All the jokes was about him and younger kids, and they're all laughing. Well, and then all the stuff with the poltergeist girl.
Shit.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot.
Exactly. If anybody knows that story about, what was her name? Damn it, with the blonde hair. Like she was found by Spielberg. He like found her. She was there with her mother in like a bank or something. He was like, "Oh, ma."
Heather O'Rourke, right?
Heather O'Rourke. And he's like, "You are my star material," and he like found her and made her a star.
He's
like,
There's a Crazy Days and Nights
Yeah,
line item about it. That if this giant producer, if everyone found out who he was, he would off himself. He'd unalive
hope so.
himself.
Yeah, he deserves to be in hell. Like, but you know, if you look at, there was one time, I think it was the girl from E.T. who did all the cocaine when she was young. God, my mind's not working.
I know.
She went to Studio 54.
She has her own daytime talk show.
Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, yes, thank you. And I saw on the talk show, it was like her birthday, and they surprised her with Spielberg. And he was like, "Hello, pumpkin, happy birthday." And she went into her Al Roker face, and she was like, "Oh," and then she was like a baby. She was like, "Oh, thank you, Daddy," kind of shit. Like, it was very weird. She like switched in front of everybody. And
how about the chick from Different Strokes? Dana Plato, is that her name? Something Plato.
That TV show, that was a good show.
Yeah, and she was just, and we used to go, "Oh, someone's gonna become a drug addict" when
Dana
these
Plato,
kids,
yeah. I don't remember
when they're child actors, and we realize they're getting churned out. That's why.
Right.
And she goes on Howard Stern, and he just rips her the whole time. The next day, she offed herself.
What did he rip her about?
Just being a train wreck.
Really?
Of all people,
Howard Stern, like, we loved him, but man, you study him, dude. His symbol is the Marxist fist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
I mean, it's like it was right there in our faces, and it's like really sad. And he was allowed to do things that everyone else got fined for and kicked off the radio outside of like opening Anthony, but then they got ran out.
He got fined a lot. I mean, that was part of his shtick, was getting fined. He's like, oh, we got fined. We got fined again. Remember, he got fired a lot.
Yeah, but he failed up.
Yeah, no, he failed up. I mean, there are reasons.
Failed up with Fart Man. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was
like devolving us into like crap.
Well, and don't get me wrong, when it was happening, I loved it.
Me too.
And I'm not going to sit there and say I don't think it's funny now, but it was really the introduction to pornography to make it more mainstream.
Right.
He started
him having that program where we could see the women that he's got on and we can see
I love
him.
that show too.
Yeah, the lighting and like, whoa.
And like, hey, dude, the hottest brother and sisters that are hooking up.
Yeah, he was into some weird shit.
I mean, it's just pure debauchery.
Dude, he used to have women come on there, and he'd have a laser pointer and talk about like what their problem areas were, and like give them ratings and stuff. I'd be like, "Wow, you got a little."
There's that famous clip of that girl who everyone was like, she took the back, and she was hot.
She's hot. Yeah, she's hot.
She's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
Do you see the video of supposedly she's out on the streets? Did you ever see that video?
I mean,
yeah. I don't. What do you think? You think that's real?
I think it's real. I think it's kind of real.
I don't know.
That ruins females. Imagine being the butterface female. If you're a guy, I would give a fuck.
But dude, like, look at how long ago that was, and that person at that age, she wouldn't be around anymore if she lived that lifestyle. That's my humble. She'd already be gone.
You know what that's similar to, that always kind of bums me out when I think about it, is in casting when they're like, "All right, we're looking for a fat piece of shit to play this role," and then they just have a cattle call for a fat piece of shit, and it's just a whole bunch of people like, "All right, dude, you're a fat piece of shit number 2."
The worst part
isn't that? I mean, that's awful.
The worst thing is that you will be a heavy, overweight actor and you're working,
you get healthy,
and you want to get healthy, and your agent's
comedian,
like, if you lose weight, you're never going to work again.
Can you imagine if Ralphie May got thin? I mean, like, people, I guarantee you somebody in his life was like, "Dude, you got to stay fat."
You think it's Tim Dillon? I don't think so, because it has nothing to do with him, but I think Tim Dillon should lose weight. I think it would do nothing with his like.
I mean, I just think, especially in the 90s, I don't think it's as big a thing now.
Yeah.
I think, but in the 90s, it used to be like your image was very important.
Who's the guy from Superbad that didn't want to lose weight?
Jonah Hill.
When he started to lose weight, he got a lot of heat because he's not as funny. He doesn't look as funny.
But isn't it from the Ozempic? Right? Isn't it like?
I think he started losing weight before Ozempic, but maybe he got it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I mean, I think that might be why people are ridiculed, because they're doing it with the chemicals instead of the hard way. I don't know. Like, but everybody's judging, just like Howard Stern is judging. It's very weird.
And then you have
and they're judging from not a moral standpoint. They're judging from an immoral place.
What do you mean by that? Not from an immoral place.
Like like Howard Stern is judging from an immoral place where he wants to possess the women and he wants to like be the alpha and dominate them over the air and like.
Which not anymore. He sucks every dick that comes on there. He's such a pussycat now.
Well, he wants you to get the jab, and he wants to f your freedom, like all that.
Well, because
crap,
they call it in.
Right.
Like once you are pushed to the front, they got you. And when they're like, push the jab, you got to push the jab or else you're done. I mean, again, it goes to all these rappers who try to go off reservation. It goes to Louis C.K., that he stopped playing ball. He wanted to make the money for himself. And they're like, it's like when we had Hatebreed, on Cash Daddies. And he literally said...
Jamie Josta.
Yeah, and he was like, I wanted to start putting my concerts on my website, and someone said, well, you better cut them in, or else they're going to get pissed.
Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, it's organized crime.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, they decide who blows up.
Kickback.
And then you walk off and you keep all the money for yourself. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
And they use the genius directors like Stanley Kubrick to decide who blows up. They were like, okay, you got this short list of actors that he could have chosen for Barry Lyndon. And he's like, I guess Ryan O'Neal, like he did not, they shoved that upon him. And the same thing with
Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan O'Neal, the comedian, right? Like
no, O'Neal from Barry Lyndon.
Oh, okay.
Ryan O'Neal, who like raped his daughter, brought her to Studio 54. She Tatum O'Neal.
Oh, yeah.
She wrote a book about how when she
what a piece of shit.
She became good friends with Vivian Kubrick, who was 12 at the time that they were doing Barry Lyndon, and she tells in her book about how Ryan O'Neal raped Vivian Kubrick. God bless you. We love you, Vivian. I don't mean to talk about your life. I'm sorry, but Ryan O'Neal was supposed to be the narrator, and he was
in
fired
Kubrick's film,
immediately.
Right?
Yes, he was supposed to narrate Barry Lyndon. And they fired him immediately, and they got some other narration. They reworked it, so they didn't need him anymore. But he was in Kubrick's house with his 12-year-old daughter. Like, I mean, it's the sickest. Like, Kubrick brought his family to England to get away from all of them.
Dude, how do you just fire him? I would kill him.
Yeah. Well,
I would.
Are you allowed to kill? You gotta ask the higher ups. If you know what I'm saying. I don't know if Kubrick is that kind of man.
So as we wrap this up.
Oh shit!
We'll have you back. We'll go deeper again.
Great, because all the other movies align with Eyes Wide Shut too.
Okay, we'll do a second episode. We'll have Mark book you again soon, so we can do a follow up. Do you think they killed him because of this movie? Do you think they killed Kubrick because of this movie?
I think I go back and forth. I find evidence, and then I'm like, well, I find other evidence that he was unhealthy and smoking and stressed out and not sleeping, and I wonder
because they
if
re-edited his film, right? That's the famous reveal on Joe Rogan.
I don't think they did. No,
wasn't he seen
Joe
yelling
Rogan,
at him? You can't edit my film. Wasn't that?
Yeah, the whole was it? Oh man, the David Icke talked about how they went. Anyway, he had final edit, and let's see, Jan Harlan, his brother-in-law, and his best friend was in charge of the final edit. And so what I described earlier, and Jan Harlan even added that original scene with Alice between the two pillars, the very first scene with her dropping her dress like the maidens in the ritual. That was Kubrick filmed it. He knew what he wanted, and Jan put it. He knew what was going on. I think Jan was hip to this. They only cut a couple frames here and there from the ritual scene, And they also like put like shadows over some parts of because they were going to give him NC-17 for that. And it was very not sexual. The whole, I mean, they were naked, yeah, but it wasn't. Anyway, because of the hype, it was going to be this sex movie. They were going to stamp it with NC-17, and then he can't play it in the R movie theaters, and it can't get as wide a distribution. So they had to like finagle some of the ritual scene. But I believe that they did not mess with the timeline because this movie aligns with itself precisely at 1 hour intervals.
Oh, okay.
And if there was some 20 minutes cut out of the middle, it would F all that up and there would be
Interesting. That's an interesting take. Sean, great episode, dude. Great episode. We loved it. I know we went on some tangents, and I'm sure people are screaming at me about it, but it was a great episode. One more time, tell them where they can find you.
That's great. Thank you again for having me.
We'll have you back on ASAP to do second part.
Awesome. I look forward to that. And they can find me at onegreatworknetwork.com/Sean-McCann. I post all my stuff there. Yep, right there. And you can also find Wake the Dead on Apple, Google, Spotify, all the podcast listeners. And I also post the videos on Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble, and sometimes YouTube, because YouTube is very censorious. So like I can't post many things, but Rumble and Odyssey get everything. So people can check out Wake the Dead and go to your heart's content. I've got hours and hours of Kubrick stuff. I talk about the Tesseract. I talk about the symbolism. You can go deep over there, and I welcome you all as listeners. Thank you for listening today. It's such a privilege to be here. Thank you.
It was a great episode. Thank you so much, buddy. All right, let's break down the episode. All right, guys, what'd you guys think of Sean McCann?
Good pod.
Yeah, good pod. I mean, he makes me want to watch
Johnny,
that movie
I feel like
again.
you dorked out.
I love talking Kubrick.
I mean, I think I don't know if I can watch Eyes Wide Shut again. It's so dark. I don't think I can be in it. I can sit there and watch it because I know what it represents. But like, The Shining is like the greatest movie ever.
I watch it every year. It comes back in theaters around Halloween, and I watch it every year. It's one of the. There are a few movies I never bore of watching them, and there's something about that movie that's just.
I've been thinking about going back and watch some of my favorites, like Fight Club. I haven't seen.
Well, they show them a lot now. Like they've kind of it's become a thing at theaters that people want to go see older movies. So they show them a lot more AMC and stuff.
Now, is the movie, has the film integrity still lasted? Because we're seeing with films that they're kind of like when you look at like when you even watch like Jordan's years in the NBA, the pictures kind of
that's because it's tape. No, it's tape that degrades. The video, the film, if it's stored properly, like which the usually the original film stock is. You can actually get more detail in that than you can even until recently anyway from digital. Like they can go back. That's why they can go back and remaster like Apocalypse Now, and it looks like it was made last week because it was on film. Now you go back and watch shit that was shot digital in like the early 2000s. That's the stuff that doesn't hold up. And tape, obviously, like VHS,
Even with
tape.
AI, you don't think digital could
eventually they will, but that's not original. It's still fake detail. It's not real. It's like trying to figure out what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean?
What were you gonna say, XG, before I cut you off?
Just as one of those movies that you can watch it, and every time you watch it, it's something new.
Yeah.
So we have like when I met Dana very early, and he did. Her friend lives in Arizona. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name right now, but Colin is his name. And Colin is an amazing artist. He did my first album cover, which is called Crime Fighter, right? I have it tattooed on my back. It was my first tat. And he did these two giant wooden pieces. If you ever walk into my bedroom,
yeah, they're huge.
That's what they are. And like every day, like we've had them for like, I think 20 years. And you can find something new in that every time you look at it. That's cool. But that's like the detail. And that's the thing about you're saying with the Kubrick movies. There's just something there that you're just like, holy shit, dude.
I sent you a video. Actually, can you play that? It was just that Duval thing. I thought it's just funny. It's Robert Duval bitching about Kubrick. A lot of actors didn't like him because of all the takes. You know, they were like they had to work.
Like, I know the ones today are very like disposable. Like they're just nobody looks at actors anymore as like these important people. We used to like revere them
almost too much, right?
Right, probably too much. But they never got into politics that much.
What? Like, wait, really?
Political? Like, I didn't know the political leanings of Sylvester Stallone.
Dude, I mean, I'm thinking about like, you know,
Reagan was
Littlefeather showing up to accept.
Oh yeah, that's.
I mean,
but those more eccentric. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm fine with that too. Here we go.
You guys ready?
You got that?
No, hit the sound.
What's going on?
It says it's up, but I don't hear it. Maybe I'll just play it. I'll play the audio over here. You should be able to hear it on this end. I think because you don't have we should have left the zoom up. Actually, that's our workaround for that.
You ready?
Here it is. Yeah, I'll just.
Was an actor's enemy.
Well, he did 100 takes.
He was an actor's enemy, and I can point to movies that he's done the worst performances I've ever seen in movies.
Which ones?
The Shining.
What?
What's the one about the Clockwork Orange?
What?
Terrible performances. Maybe they're great movies, but they're terrible performances.
Okay, that
How
doesn't
does he know
make
the difference between the first take and the 70th take? I mean, what is that about? Can I say?
They're all getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
It's like you're talking about the Michael Jordan of directors.
Yeah.
And he's like, the performances were awful. You're like, really, dude?
Yeah,
the movies that we see are some of the greats to ever do it.
I could get thinking that Shelley Duvall wasn't great in The Shining, like because I watched it over the pandemic on Halloween. I think the Halloween crew is a little different, but with people who laughed at a lot of stuff, like it was like almost like it was like a hate watch kind of for The Shining. And now I've not seen that since. I've gone to see it like not at Halloween, and people were taking it very seriously, but. A lot of like women, especially, were like laughing, like when that scene where Shelley Duvall is being backed up the stairs with the base, and she's got the baseball bat in her hand, and he's like, "Give me the bat, give me the bat," and then when he falls and stuff, they just think it's like over the top, you know, which is the style of acting back then was a little bigger,
and much bigger.
And
that's why I'm always like Adam Levine kind of made it in an old school kind of way of acting.
Yeah.
Like he's big. He's a great actor. I'm not taking anything away.
No,
from
but that's a totally valid observation. You're right. Yeah.
Now everything's small.
Yeah,
because they just make good-looking people.
Also, you know what it's also about too is that it used to be projection technology was, and this is where what you're talking about in the quality was different. If you go and watch an old theater with old projection technology today, like a repertory theater showing old film stock, it looks dark. You can barely see the detail. And that's why now today when they remaster stuff, the props look all fake. You can see fake shitty props in the background. The blood looks fake. All that shit because it didn't hold up to screen. You know, it looked real at the time.
Right.
And I think now you can see the smallest little eyelash. Like, you know, the eyebrow like twitches a little bit. And that's acting now where that would never play.
I remember I was watching CSI Miami.
With David Caruso.
And they had one of the female like police officers was easily one of the most beautiful people to ever walk the planet, and she couldn't act her way out of a paper bag. Like there's a scene where her kid gets kidnapped, and she has no ability to emote that, and you're like, you're just here because you are stunningly good looking, and which is kind of interesting because now it's gotten away from that, and it's like kind of like why we go back to like the new Star Trek is like everyone's uncomfortable to look at.
Ugh.
And there's a place for that, but it's like, you know, you think of Captain Kirk back in the day, he was a handsome man. We were looking at these guys as leaders, and it's just like, it's destroying archetypes. Yeah. That's what it's all about, but they're losing. I mean, like, you know, the thing has great ratings, but really, I don't know anybody who's watching.
No, I don't think it does. Actually, I was looking at like the ratings for what they paid for or not. They're losing money on it, like big time. And they've already renewed it. They agreed to renew it.
Of course they did. They did that with Sarah Silverman's show before it even aired. I think it aired one time. They're like, we're renewing it. You're like, this is all about pushing an agenda. Well, and I'm happy for everybody on the show. Like, I know Tig. We've had weird interactions, but
Well,
I wish
she's
her
in
well.
a show that's much better, a Star Trek show that's much. The other show is better.
Oh, she's not in the woke one?
No, she is, but she's also she's playing a character that's also from kind of spun off to this. That is a slightly better show she was on. But dude, people don't understand, like Gene Roddenberry, who created Star Trek. That whole world was supposed to be post scarcity, post politics. Like it was what humanity would do if all our
Captain
needs
Kirk
were
was banging
filled.
a green chick.
Right, but there wasn't supposed to be like a ton of like heavy-handed political shit and like people worrying about racism and stuff. It was supposed to be kind of a post-racist, and he would use it as a vehicle to talk about larger political issues, but it was never supposed to be heavy-handed like it is now.
If you go to samtripoli.com, you can get my dates. We're going to be in Hollywood. Then we're going to be somewhere else magical. Wherever I go is magic. I'm really working on writing some new shit. It's taking work, but I'm doing it. You go to, then we're going to be in Perryville, Maryland, Pottstown, PA, Las Vegas, Nevada. Improv, not stand-up, free show. Just so you know, I'm doing improv with my friends who we're all old.
This late?
What?
12 p.m.?
No, that's noon.
Oh, okay. Oh, I never thought you'd do a show that early.
Is it at noon?
That's why. I didn't
No,
know
I gotta
you'd do
find
it.
out the right time. Bakersfield, Yuma, Arizona, Hollywood again for Comedy Chaos, Dallas, Fort Worth, Albuquerque is the Sam Tripoli only show that says Tinfoil Hat Comedy. I gotta change that. I put that wrong. Lawrence, Kansas, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, and again, Toronto has been added. We're adding new dates all the time. Premium content. I say it all the time. I will put my premium content up against anybody in the conspiracy world. I'll put my content up against that. It's really good shit. It's well worth the money. You're getting 2 to 3 a week. I'm trying to do at least 3. And then you go down to talk about Cash Daddies.
It is the best financial show hosted by retards on the planet.
Oh, dude, if
There
you
we
want
go.
financial advice by retards, this is the place to go, dude. It's fire.
To be clear, it's not financial advice, but it is a financial show. You can learn about investing. But yeah, you should never invest any money based on anything any of us say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just as much about the community that's grown around the Patreon as anything.
The Patreon, the people who subscribe to the Patreon are adding to the Patreon.
Yeah.
And they're noticing stuff that Howie didn't even see. So you're going to get advice from a lot of people.
It's kind of like a Wall Street Bets, but like smarter people that have better ideas.
Yes. So go back to samtripoli.com. The main page, go down, keep going. T-shirts. Again, guys, great way to support the show. You'll never find $20 T-shirts anywhere else. We're like the $1.99 Arizona tees. We don't change our prices.
Yep. You've had that price for a very long time.
For years.
Yeah, I've never seen you charge
because I know people are struggling, so we want to take care of you. It's a great way to support the show. Double shirt, bang, bang, pow. And then if you go back again, all of our listen, if they are an affiliate, it's a good thing for you. Rife Technology, get your chakras in gear, get your energy in gear. Pat Miletich and the Mineral Kings. Dude, big things are happening for Pat. He's a good friend of mine. The best in the business are coming to him. Couldn't be happier for him. Harley Ray, crystals and candles, AquaCure hydrogen brown gas. You want to stay looking young? Get more hydrogen. Energy for your health at Chemical Free Body. Tim James has unlocked it. He's got the potion. He's got it. I take it every day. James Staley, if you want to get in shape. EMF Rocks. Prometheus, if you want. EMF Rocks, if you want to get rid of that dirty energy. Prometheus, if you want a decentralized website. And Brain Supreme, if you like my good friend XG asking relevant questions, you'll love it right there. All my specials there, everything. What do you got?
Don't forget, guys, we raffle off signed canvases by Sam Tripoli over at XG Marks the Spot. Go over there. We go live on Tuesdays. We go live on Tuesdays after doom scrolling.
All right, Johnny.
Check out Broken Simulation. We just did a new one, almost certainly, and it was hilarious, or it was very serious. One of those two.
I might cry. Find the episode that I cry. Check out Doom Scrolling. It's been really cooking with gas lately. So Doom Scrolling, Deep Waters, Punch Drunk some days. I mean, we'll see it
We got the
someday.
500th coming up.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the Jew to show up, and I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, he's hard to.
Dude,
pull.
his bit on Kanye West, if you can ever catch it, it's been on.
I haven't seen
people
it.
have been showing it. Is one of the most perfect jokes ever written.
He's a funny guy.
Every line is just a punchline of hilarious. He's so smart. He's such a great comic. All right, going back to the show. Final thoughts on it. I mean, this guy's laying his life on the line.
Oh.
What is his, real quick, what did he say was his Substack? We said we'd give him a shout out on that. We forgot to promote it.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. That's what I meant. Anyways, so, yeah, we forgot.
What I was going to ask is, do you think there's any director right now making movies like what's his name, where we're one day going to sit there and be like, dude, we missed that. We didn't notice that. Who do you know anybody right now that you would name?
Dude, who's the guy who did Weapons? They say he's got a lot of that stuff in his movies.
Yeah, that guy's good. He does a lot of what? Kreger, right? Zach Kreger.
Like the one I see a lot of people, but I don't think so. It's Peele. Jordan Peele supposedly has got a lot of stuff like that.
But
Like David O. Russell, I think, is a genius. I think Steven Soderbergh is, you can look as long as you want. Steven Soderbergh's done, I mean, TV too. Just incredible. Some of the best TV that has ever been made. Paul Thomas Anderson, I know people politically maybe don't go there with him, but I think PTA, is there are people.
that just so PTA. Bum, 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 bum,
Is that a
bum,
thing?
bum, bum.
I don't know what that
Would
is.
you
Bum, 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 bum,
Would you
bum.
have done a movie if he asked if he was alive?
Kubrick?
Yeah, and he hit you. I know you don't do movies, but if he with 75 takes, knowing that you're going to take
Probably not.
David
if I
Lynch-
could, if
David
I could
Lynch
be
is-
like, welcome to the hotel, sir, and then I'm out, just so I can show my kids that moment.
David Lynch is dead now, but he's definitely up there.
He's up there,
with Kubrick. Although you could say there was.
No more weather reports?
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? I loved him.
How, Johnny, how do you know what the weather is now?
It's
Called your phone.
I slept in. They had an auction of his shit, which is kind of sad, really. But they auctioned all his shit off, and I was like, you could get like tools that he used daily, like that are actually useful in your own shop for pretty cheap. And I slept, and I didn't fucking bid on them.
How do you find auctions when people die? Is that like?
It was just, I just saw it on Instagram. I get
Okay.
these ads for auctions all the time, like charity auctions and people estate auctions and stuff like that. But I knew he died, and I kind of followed David Lynch, but his news. But it's I mean, to see somebody's all of their possession, like his coffee maker was getting
Johnny,
sold. and
I'm
stuff,
telling you, I've seen it with people. As you get older, you have to downsize. So when I was young, I lived on Hayworth in California, in Los Angeles. And, it was this weird building where a bunch of young people moved in. I was young at the time. And then there were some senior citizens that had been there for decades. And when one of them died, the man, dude, his kids just chucked that shit in the garbage. Everything, his books, everything, they didn't give a fuck. I'm saving all these books. I want my kids to read them, but...
Yeah, read these. I didn't, but you should.
I knew you were going to say that, Johnny. I set you up for that.
You're welcome.
You're such a gross human being. But downsize. I know people that stayed in a big house for a long time. And it just, dude, as soon as the kids move out, sell the house, get a smaller house.
Yeah, well, what do you, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Like when I'm old, dude, I'm moving to those Florida senior citizen places, and I'm just going to crush ass.
That doesn't sound so bad.
It's
does
not
it?
bad at
Having
all.
everything,
No.
like-
You drive around with a weird sponge, what you're into.
Yeah, you get a golf.
And everyone's like, I'm into that too. Let's go. I just high five and I'm banging his wife.
You get a golf cart. I can see Sam just cruising.
I'm about 2 years away from being eligible for a senior citizen place. I'm not against it.
There's Tripoli. Everybody's got gonorrhea, but he doesn't believe in it exists. So
Exactly, dude. I'm pissing fire at the gods.
He's got all these old ladies taking vaccines.
90% of the community has to clap because Tripoli is a terrain theorist.
Dude, I'm raw dogging. All right, guys.